time with row crops to start with. I mean, corn is okay.
Corn's done.
Corn was done,
Yeah.
but corn obviously was a bad year as well
To
because
grow, yeah. Well, it's the whole year you deal with a drought. The whole time you're trying to produce a crop. Now you're dealing with flooded fields to get the crop out. So it's, a complete swing of the pendulum, so to speak.
have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, and I saw Charles's quote in 35 years of being an extension agent. He's never seen it. So, and I've had other people say they have never seen Harry Ott, state FSA director, never seen a year like this. And I'll just echo that in my short. I mean, we've had hurricanes. They come through. They give us 7, 8 inches of rain. Wind damage can blow a crop down. This just totally different. I had 15 inches of rain on our farm, so I'm in the same predicament as most every farmer who will now have their crop insurance agent come out and look at an estimated yield of either cotton or peanuts or soybeans out there in the field. Then those yields have to be looked at in terms of quality adjustments. For peanuts, it's cracked peanuts, moldy, all of these things that make the peanut very limited in marketability. We send them to the oil market rather than the eating, consumption, human consumption market. Cotton, if cotton has had its defoliant, we spray defoliant to knock the leaves off to get ready for picking. If that cotton stalk is standing out there without its leaves protecting it, then that 15 inches of rain knocked a fair amount of the cotton off to the ground. So that's obviously not even harvestable. Then the quality comes into play in terms of color, length of the staple. A lot of the cotton is sprouting again. When a crop is ready to go, it's ready to go. Mother Nature intended it that way. So the longer it stays, and we haven't had a frost. If this were a month later and a frost had come, if this had come after a frost, it would have been a different story. So a lot of timing issues make it the worst time that it could have happened, right at harvest. Beans, I'm hearing some from crop insurance adjusters of going out and seeing the beans in the pod, discolored already, meaning they're beginning to mold in the pod or they swell up in the pod. So those things are we're not focused on beans yet. They are on average a month away from harvest. I did have a St. Matthews farmer tell me he had an early variety of beans. Last year he harvested 70 bushels per acre, great, almost twice the state average. He thought this year's crop was better. He hasn't called me since his crop insurance adjuster came out to look, but he questions whether he will put a combine in the field just because it did that much damage. So prime crops, you look at an acre of peanuts out there, that revenue sitting on the ground is nearly $1,000, $900 to $1,000 this year, depending on yield. So it's that much out there exposed, and right now, based on, we have 3 major companies operating in your reader's area that buy peanuts from our farmers, and based on some conversations, we think there are 15,000 acres of peanuts dug up and on top of the ground trying to let them dry out. The reason they were dug up is we won't get equipment back into the field until next week this time if we're lucky. And when we do to dig those peanuts up that are past maturity, they're going to break apart on the ground. So the decision to dig, which we did on our farm, was almost picking the lesser of 2 evils. So again, all of these harvest decisions that have to be made really just add to this dilemma. If it were a freeze, then you go out and you say, well, my crop was killed off by the freeze. If it were peaches, or if it were wheat, or if it were early corn, There's no decisions to be made. It's dead. Now you have a decision. If the value of my peanuts in the field is not equal to the value of putting their combine out there, drying them down, paying the costs associated with marketing, then I will just leave them there and try to salvage it through crop insurance.
Do you see more farmers